Hi guys, welcome to my study compass. In this video, I'll be walking you through the past paper Math P2 Variant 3 May-June 2019. Let's get started. Write 1.8972 correct to two decimal places. The second number after the decimal point is 9. The number after 9, which is 7, is greater than 5. So we add 1 to 9, which gives us 10. This means we replace 9 with 0 and add 1 to 8. And so our final answer becomes 1.90. Factorize 2x squared minus x. The common factor is x. When we factor x out, we need to multiply x by 2x to get 2x squared, and we need to multiply x by -1 to get -x. Gileo's reaction times are measured in two games. In the first game, his reaction time is 1/3 of a second. In the second game, his reaction time is 1/8 of a second. Find the difference between the two reaction times. All we need to do here is subtract 1/8 from 1/3. When we type this into the calculator, we get 5/24. The table shows the different methods of travel for 20 people going to work. Which type of average, mean, median, or mode can be used for this information? In this case, we have categorical data, which means the mean or median would make very little sense. The best average would be the mode because it tells us what the most common category is. Find the coordinates of the point where the line y equals 3x minus 8 crosses the y-axis. At the point where the line crosses the y-axis, the x-coordinate is 0. When we substitute x equals 0 into the equation of the line, we get y equals -8. Write down the gradient of the line, y equals 3x minus 8. The equation of the line is already in the form y equals mx plus c, which means the coefficient of the x term gives us the gradient of the line, and that is 3. Calculate -12 divided by -2. When we type this into the calculator, we get 6. Calculate cube root of 2 cubed plus 2. When we type this into the calculator, we get 2.15. Here is a list of numbers. From this list, write down a prime number. A prime number has only two factors, 1 and itself. 31 is a prime number. Write down an irrational number. An irrational number cannot be written in fraction form. Square root of 13 is an irrational number. The scatter diagram shows the number of people and the number of phones in each of 8 buildings. One of the buildings contains 42 people. Write down the number of phones in this building. On the grid, when we map 42 from the horizontal axis, we get 32. What type of correlation is shown in the scatter diagram? From the points on the grid, we see that as the number of people in a building increase, the number of phones generally increase as well. This is a positive correlation. Without using a calculator, work out 12/35 times 7/9. You must show all your working and give your answer as a fraction in its simplest form. 7 goes into itself once and goes into 35 5 times. 3 goes into 12 4 times and goes into 9 3 times. And so for the numerator, 4 times 1 gives us 4, and for the denominator, 5 times 3 gives us 15. Rearrange 2 times w plus h equals p to make w the subject. When we divide both sides of the equation by 2, this is what we get. When we subtract h from both sides, we have w equals p/2 minus h. Complete this statement with an expression in terms of m. Let's look at the expression on the left-hand side. The first two terms have a common factor of 9m squared. When we factor that out, we are left with 2m plus 1. The final two terms have a common factor of 7. When we factor that out, we are left with 2m plus 1. We can rewrite this as 9m squared plus 7 times 2m plus 1. On the right-hand side of the expression, 9m squared plus 7 has already been filled in, so we put in 2m plus 1 in the empty brackets. The diagram shows a sector of a circle with radius 6.2 centimeters and sector angle 217 degrees. Calculate the area of this sector. The formula for the area of a sector is theta over 360 degrees times pi r squared. In this case, theta is 217 degrees and the radius is 6.2 centimeters. When we type this into the calculator, we get 72.8 centimeters squared, rounded to 3 significant figures. The diagram shows a pyramid with a square base. The triangular faces are congruent isosceles triangles. Write down the number of planes of symmetry of this pyramid. A plane of symmetry is simply a flat surface that cuts an object into two halves, such that one half is the mirror image of the other half. We see from this illustration that a square-based pyramid has 4 planes of symmetry. Using a ruler and compasses only, construct an accurate drawing of one of the triangular faces of the pyramid. First, let's draw the base of the pyramid, which is 4 centimeters long. Then, opening the compass to 6 centimeters, we stand at one end of the base and inscribe an arc. Without changing the width of the compass, we stand at the other end of the base and inscribe another arc. Now we draw 2 lines from the ends of the base to the intersection point of the arcs to complete the triangle. One solution of the equation ax squared plus a equals 150 is x equals 7. Find the value of a. To get the value of a, we plug in x equals 7 into the equation. This gives us 7 squared a plus a equals 150. 7 squared a plus a is 50a. When we divide both sides by 50, we get a equals 3. Find the other solution. Due to the x squared term, we know that if one solution to the equation is x equals 7, the other solution will be x equals negative 7. A is the point 712 and B is the point 2, negative 1. Find the length of AB. When we apply the distance or length formula, this is what we get. When we type this into the calculator, we get 13.9 rounded to 3 significant figures. A equals B times H divided by 2. A equals 10, correct to the nearest whole number. H equals 4, correct to the nearest whole number. Work out the upper bound for the value of B. When we correct 10 and 4 to the nearest whole number, we bring plus and minus 1 and divide 1 by 2. We want to find B, and so when we make B the subject of the equation, we get 2a over h. To get the upper bound of B, we need the upper bound of A and the lower bound of H. The upper bound of A is 10 plus half and the lower bound of H is 4 minus half. When we type this into the calculator, we get 6. Simplify x cubed plus 5x squared divided by x squared minus 25, giving your answer as a single fraction. For the numerator, the common factor for the two terms is x squared. When we factor that out, we are left with x plus 5. For the denominator, 25 is a perfect square. So we can rewrite x squared minus 25 as x squared minus 5 squared. When we apply the factorization for the difference of two squares, we get x plus 5 times x minus 5. X plus 5 cancels out, and so our final answer here is x squared over x minus 5. Y is inversely proportional to the square of x plus 1. Y equals 0.875 when x equals 1. Find y when x equals 4. In mathematical terms, let's write y is inversely proportional to x plus 1 squared. This means y is equal to a constant which we are going to call k times 1 over x plus 1 squared. To find the value of k, we substitute the values of y equals 0.875 and x equals 1 given in the question. This gives us 0.875 equals k over 1 plus 1 squared. When we make k the subject, we get k equals 3.5. Therefore, y is equal to 3.5 over x plus 1 squared. And so when x is 4, y is 3.5 over 4 plus 1 squared, which is equal to 0.14. J, K, L, and M are points on the circumference of a circle with diameter JL. JL and KM intersect at N. Angle JNK equals 104 degrees and angle MLJ equals 22 degrees. Work out the value of D. JL is the diameter of the circle, and so the angle formed by JL at the circumference of the circle is 90 degrees. All the angles in triangle JLM should add up to 180 degrees. And so when we subtract the sum of 90 degrees and 22 degrees from 180 degrees, we get angle MJL as 68 degrees. Chord ML subtends angle MJL at the circumference of the circle and subtends angle MKL at another point on the circumference of the circle. These two angles should be equal. Angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. And so when we subtract 104 from 180, we get this angle as 76 degrees. All angles in triangle KLN should add up to 180 degrees. So we have D plus 76 plus 68 equals 180. When we subtract the sum of 76 and 68 from 180, we get 36. 40 children were asked if they have a computer or a phone or both. The Venn diagram shows the results. A child is chosen at random from the children who have a computer. Write down the probability that this child also has a phone. This probability is equal to the number of children who have a computer and a phone, which is 8, divided by the number of children who have a computer, which is 8 plus 7. 8 plus 7 is 15, and so our final answer is 8 over 15. Complete the Venn diagram. The number in this region represents the children who have a computer and a phone. From the previous Venn diagram, this number is 8. The number in this region represents the children who do not have a computer and do not have a phone. From the previous Venn diagram, this number is 2. The number of children who do not have a computer is 23. And the number of children who do not have a phone is 7. In this Venn diagram, shade the region A union B complement intersection C. First, shade the region A union B complement, then shade the region C. The intersection or overlap section would be the final answer. The result should look like this. Find 5A. To get the resulting matrix, we multiply each element in matrix A by 5. This gives us 15, 25, 20, 0. Find A plus B. To get the resulting vector, we add corresponding elements in matrix A and B. This gives us 4, 2, 8, 2. Find AB. To get the number in this position, we multiply the elements in row 1 of matrix A with the elements in column 1 of matrix B. This gives us -9. To get the element in this section, we multiply the elements in row 2 of matrix A with the elements in column 1 of matrix B. This gives us 5. For the number in this position, we multiply the elements in row 1 of matrix A with the elements in column 2 of matrix B. This gives us 20. For the number in this position, we multiply the elements in row 2 of matrix A with the elements in column 2 of matrix B. This gives us 20. ABCD is a parallelogram. N is the point on BD such that BN is to ND equals 4:1. AB is S and AD is T. Find in terms of S and T an expression in its simplest form for BD. BD can be expressed as BA plus AD. BA is minus S and AD is T. And so our final answer is minus S plus T. Find Cn. Cn can be expressed as CD plus Dn. Dn is 1/5 of dB. CD is minus S. We found BD in part A as minus S plus T. And so dB would be the negative of that, which is S minus T. When we expand the brackets and group like terms, we get -4/5s minus 1/5t. 160 students record the amount of time, T hours, they each spent playing computer games in a week. This information is shown in the cumulative frequency diagram. Use the diagram to find an estimate of the median. To get the median, we map half of 160, which is 80, on the graph. This gives us the median as 5 hours. Find an estimate of the interquartile range. The interquartile range is equal to the upper quartile minus the lower quartile. To get the upper quartile, we map 3/4 of 160, which is 120, on the diagram. This gives us 6 hours. To get the lower quartile, we map 1/4 of 160, which is 40, on the diagram. This gives us 3.5 hours. When we subtract 3.5 hours from 6 hours, we get 2.5 hours. Use the diagram to complete this frequency table. At t equals 2, the cumulative frequency is 20, and at t equals 4, the cumulative frequency is 46. And so 46 minus 20 gives us 26. At t equals 4, the cumulative frequency is 46, and at t equals 6, the cumulative frequency is 120. And so 120 minus 46 gives us 74. By shading the unwanted regions of the grid, draw and label the region R, which satisfies the following 3 inequalities. For the first inequality, we draw the line y equals 2. For the second inequality, we draw the line x equals 3. Note that we draw this as a broken line because the inequality does not have an equal sign attached to the less than symbol. And for the final inequality, we draw the line y equals x plus 4. After drawing these lines, we can start shading the unwanted regions. For y is less than and equal to 2, the wanted region is below the line y equals 2, and so we shade the region above the line. For x is less than 3, the wanted region is below or to the left of the line x equals 3, and so we shade the region above or to the right of the line. For y is less than and equal to x plus 4, the wanted region is below the line y equals x plus 4, and so we shade the region above the line. After shading all the unwanted regions, the final wanted region that satisfies all 3 inequalities is left unshaded. This is the region we label as R. The diagram shows two regular pentagons. Pentagon FGHJK is an enlargement of pentagon ABCDE, center O. Find angle AEK. From the diagram, we see that angle AEK is 180 degrees minus angle AEO. So now we need to find angle AEO. The pentagon ABCDE can be split into 5 congruent triangles. This means angle AOE is 360 degrees divided by 5, which is equal to 72 degrees. The lengths OA and OE are equal. This makes triangle AOE an isosceles triangle. Base angles in an isosceles triangle are equal. And so to get angle AEO, we subtract 72 degrees from 180 degrees and divide by 2, which is equal to 54 degrees. So now angle AEK is 180 degrees minus 54 degrees, which is equal to 126 degrees. The area of pentagon FGHJK is 73.5 centimeters squared. The area of pentagon ABCDE is 6 centimeters squared. Find the ratio perimeter of pentagon FGHJK is to perimeter of pentagon ABCDE in its simplest form. Since the two pentagons are similar, the ratio of their areas should be equal to the square of the ratio of their perimeters. We've been given the area of the pentagons, and so the ratio of their perimeters would be equal to square root of 73.5 divided by 6. When we type this into the calculator, we get 7/2. And so our final answer here is 7:2. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video useful. See you in the next video. Bye guys.